Okay, everybody, and thank you, Regina, and thank you, David. It's always a pleasure to hear you, to listen to your studies. I'm Petra. I'm from Gothenburg, Vägen ut-kooperativen. And it's like Regina said in the beginning, that recovery is, we have heard a lot of really dramatic information and quite depressing numbers, but even if we can't, like it was said yesterday, that maybe there will always be addicts and there will always be drugs, but there will always be recovery too. And recovery is possible and happens every day. And I will tell you about Vägen ut-kooperativen. We were founded in 2002. We celebrated 20 years last year, and the founders of Vägen ut, they all had experience from prison, and they wanted to make a difference together. They met at Bryggan, an organization for children with incarcerated parents, and they realized that they needed a stable employment to change their situation, and they realized they had to create their own jobs. The barriers to get into the labor market were too high, it was too difficult. So there was an European equal project, so a partnership was set up, and we did this project. And it involved also different authorities, Försäkringskassan, health insurance, Kriminalvården, prison and probation service, Arbetsförmedlingen, the employment office, Companion, which is a cooperative development agency, and other professional organization. And when the project was finished, 3 years later, we had started 3 social enterprises. A treatment center for men, a cafe, and a small craft social enterprise for women. And today we are 13 social enterprises, 20 years later. We are about 100 employees, and about 200 people take part in our job training or stay at our treatment center, housing, or women's shelter. And we are spread through social franchising. So what work integrating social enterprises is. We run businesses to create work for people who are facing exclusion. We create participation through cooperation. You can be part of the cooperative and a member and an owner. So we do it together. We reinvest the profits to create more jobs. We are independent from the public sector, but we love to collaborate, and we do it a lot. And we sell products and services on the open market, just as any other business. And we work in many different business areas, where we also offer job training. And we believe that work shapes our day and gives us positive routines and a feeling of context and meaning. So the goal for job training at Vägen ut is to get all parts of life to work well at the same time. And we also have procured agreements with the municipality and employment service. And we also offer housing and treatment, as well as a women's shelter for abused women with drug addiction. We have in Gothenburg, we have treatment center for men. We have one 12-step treatment. We have like a halfway house, motivational housing. We also have a treatment center, 12-step treatment center for women. And we were first in Sweden to start a women's shelter for women with an addiction. Before that, if you were using drugs and you were abused, you couldn't get into the shelters because there were children there, and it could be a danger. So you had to go back to your partner, or So we started that, and we also have our work training there. Our core values are the foundation of our day-to-day work. And our enterprise model is based on empowerment. It's a very important part. And it focuses on the process that give people control over and the right to decide on their life. So we support our employees to gradually develop all of their resources. It's important. And we run our businesses or companies as cooperatives because it develops people's self-confidence and empowerment, that you are part of, you are in the decision making, and you're owning your own company together. We have we support and encourage a drug-free lifestyle, not only in our treatment centers, but also in our work cooperatives, in our social enterprises. If you are in recovery, it's possible for you to go to 12 steps meeting during the workday. It's possible for you to meet with your sponsor or to go to therapy during the day. It's open for that. And we can see also, because it's in early recovery, there's we heard this morning too, that the stigma around addiction, but especially around women, it's tough, you know. And in early recovery, you have a lot of shame and guilt, and to be in an environment where you can be yourself, and it's very important. It's difficult to get into recovery and then go to a normal job, because people will, in the fika paus, people will talk about renovating their house or where to go on vacation, and maybe you're sitting there wondering when you will get your kids back, you know, or thinking of traumas you have been through and stuff like that. So in our companies, in our social enterprises, you also work 100% of your ability. So it can be 2 hours a day for someone and full-time for someone else. So, and it's also, this is about changing a life situation that has been underway for many years. So it has to take time. We can't do it it's not a quick fix. It has to take time. And to come to us, you also have to have some motivation, some desire to change, you know. If you don't want to change, it's difficult to work. You have to want to change in some way. And the child perspective has been with us since the beginning. It's very important, because if parents get their life together, it will affect their children too. It's very important. And the lived experience, it's crucial. 90% of all our employees have lived experience from being excluded from the labor market, or from being in jail, or addiction, or mental illness, and together we did actually. I brought also our annual report. It's new. We got it just a couple of days ago, and we also we did a count. We counted the years we have together, the clean years, recovery years, and we have 368 years of recovery together. That's 368 years. That's amazing. And that's 368 years of living without the use of drugs, life on life terms, building up a new life. So a lot of experience. And together we also have 121 children, and 49 of them are under the age of 18. So they are growing up with a mother or a father who is needed at their place of work and can pay their bills. So that's a big change. And we have always grown in an organic way. We try to fill the gaps. It's with the women's shelter I told you about, and we want to offer a path or a chain and from prison or addiction So you can come to us from a prison, or straight from the street, or from detox, or you can come through our women's shelter, and you can move on to 12-step treatment, or if you're not ready for that, maybe you need to stay at our motivational housing and then go to treatment, or and after treatment you have aftercare. You live in supported housing together with other recovering friends. You can move on to job training, or if you want to go to educate yourself, you can study too. But you can go on to job training in one of our cooperatives. We also have apartments where you can stay. You have an apartment of your own. You can stay there, and if you can pay your bills, you follow through on your program, your recovery, you can get a reference to a first-hand contract on a place to stay in Gothenburg. And if after a period of work training, if we have the possibility to employ, we will employ. This is the way we employ people, through this way. But what's also very important is the social networks that David talked about. And we try to, as early as possible, to get you, or the person who comes to us, connected with the social network. Because our experience during these 20 years is that, just as David said, like, the people who come to us who get connected with these civil society organizations to get their, like, the hobbies, sports, community, fellowship stuff, they make it. They do recover, and they stay in recovery. I also have an example. We have one of my colleagues, Camilla. She came to us, to the women's shelter some years ago, and it was really bad. And we supported her. She was really bad abused. We supported her through the trial. The man, her ex-partner, he got a 4-year sentence. He went to jail, and we supported her. And when she came there, because we all who work here have lived experience, and she met the women there, she got hope, because she could see that they had recovered. They were living drug-free. They were, like, working there and having a good life, and she was inspired, and they gave her hope. So she chose to go on to our treatment, and after that she started to job train at our social cooperative that is only for women because it's very safe and it's very small. But she started there, and she got the apartment and did all the steps, and after that she just realized that I want to work with women, I want to support women. So she went back and to the treatment and the women's shelter. She got educated, and she started working there. And today she's there. When women come to us, she's the one welcoming them there. It's beautiful. I'm almost crying, but this is the way it works. It's great. And the recovery network in Gothenburg, it's around 20 organizations for people in recovery and or their families, and it's a broad diversity. We have the homeless football team, Gatans lag. We have 12-step groups like Narcotics Anonymous or Alcoholics Anonymous. There are social enterprises, Vägen ut or Basta, peer support groups, Länkarna, and we have family children groups, and churches, St. Johannes Church. It's a lot of different organizations. So in the recovery network, people can find positive social support and engage in activities that promote and support their recovery. So, for example, it could look like this: a woman, she's doing job training at Vägen ut, and she's staying with us. She has her aftercare housing. She goes to any meetings. She goes to for example, a study group at KRIS. It could be the Faces of Violence. They have had those kind of study groups. She can get acupuncture at RFHL. She goes to family group with her kids at BUF. In the summer, she goes to summer camp with Länkarna. She joins meditation at the St. Johannes Church, and she do soccer training with Gatans lag. So that's like very what it looks like for a lot of the women and men who comes to us. They have this. We try to get them into as many of these organizations as possible, because we know if they have this, it's like a safety net. The possibility for them to maintain their recovery and stay clean is much higher. And this is what David talked about too, the shine. It's like to rebuild an identity, to find a meaning in life, to get empowered, to feel connected with other people, to feel the hope. That's like the recovery circle. And I guess you see the benefit for our employees to move from a long time like subsidy dependency and to becoming self-sufficient is quite obvious, but we also to show what society gains from this, from investing in people and from our employees having a job. We supplement our regular financial statement with a socio-economic financial statement. And I think the last number is even higher this year. Yeah, it's similar. It's 54 million kronor last year that society gains from our employees having a job. And this method has been developed by the economist Ingvar Nilsson and Anders Wadeskog. You can read more about that if you Google them. And we have grown, and we have created more than 150 jobs. So if we invest in people, society will get the profit too. And I think I will stop there to see if maybe you have any questions, or Regina have any questions.
Thank you so much. We're just at 2, but I just wanted to ask you as well, because we see now where civil society kind of fills the gaps in the places where our authorities or our local community or municipalities don't necessarily have the resources to do this work. That's where civil society comes in. And I just wanted to ask you, maybe shortly, some challenges, because we've spoken about, for example, that we're seeing a drawback in resources when it comes particularly to women in recovery and the available services to women. So maybe just a word on that, and then end with a positive note on way forward.
Yeah, it's true. We see this trend, and it's very, very sad, because we need this special places for women. It's very important. You can't sit in a waiting room with your offender, or you need to have this safe space. So that's important too. But so collaboration and also we see these trends in harm reduction maybe, or other ways. Like, we can't put all the eggs in the same basket. It's like you can't put anything everything on harm reduction or medical assisted treatment. There has to be a balance. Like, we have to support these type of. We have to believe that people can get clean too. So that is important.
Thank you so much. And I think we will all remember what David said before, and what's visible here is that recovery is contagious. So I think that's really the key for us to bring back, and I hope that we take the time to continue. Okay, one last question here. Thank you. It's for you. It says, what can the rest of civil society do, even organizations that does not have these experiences and knowledge about addiction? What can they do to support the recovery journey?
I think maybe to get educated or learn more about what recovery is, and collaboration. Because even if we collaborate with a lot of organizations that don't work with recovery in specific, but could be like a partner for us. So, and for us, like social enterprises, we want to do business with other businesses and the public service, because then we can create more jobs. We can do more. We become stronger. So.
Thank you. Thank you so much, and thank you for being here. It's a gift to UNICEF in your name, and some chocolate. Thank you so much, Petra.